Hello students, welcome to AIMS India online classes. This is a chemistry session. Here we are discussing about the chapter symbols and formulae. In earlier sessions we have seen what are symbols, how they are given to the elements names, and what are formulae, how they are written by using different methods like crisscross method is all. Now in this session we are going to see about naming of chemical compounds by using their formulae. So by knowing the formulae, how to name a compound, we are going to see now. That is naming of chemical compounds. Usually, the elements present in a compound are named in order of their symbols appearing in the formula. So how the symbols appeared in the chemical formulae, based upon that, the names of the compounds are given. So in giving the names for these compounds based upon their formulae, we follow certain rules which are applied in naming the compound name. Okay, let us see those one by one here. What are the rules to be followed to understand the naming of chemical compounds? Among them, the first one is if a compound contains only two elements, then that is called binary compound. Binary means two elements compound. Okay, binary represents two. The compound which is made up of two elements is said to be binary compound. So while naming such compounds, the one of them is so the binary compounds in which one of them is metals, the metal is named first. Non-metallic part is given suffix "ide" at the end of the name. Okay, so in naming binary compounds in which one of the elements is metal, first metal's name is written and then non-metal's name is written. At the end of the non-metallic element's name, id is attached by eliminating one or two letters from the non-metal name. Okay, this is first rule. What is that? If compound contains only two elements, that means if the compound is binary compound and such that one of the elements is metal, then metal name or metallic element's name is written first and then non-metallic element's name is continue, and at the end of the non-metallic element's name id is attached by eliminating one or two letters from the non-metal's name. Let us see some examples to this to understand. The compound formed between potassium and chlorine is KCl. Okay, now in this metallic element is potassium, non-metallic element is chlorine. Now first we name the metal, that is potassium. Next non-metallic element name is continued, that is chlorine. Now at the end of the non-metallic element's name ide is attached by eliminating one or two letters from the chlorine name. See here, actually in the name of the chlorine, INE, ion is removed and ide is attached. Now it became potassium chloride. Okay, in this way they are named binary compounds in which one element is metal. First, the metal's name is written, then followed by non-metal's name. At the end of the non-metal's name, ide is attached by eliminating one or two letters from the non-metal's name. Okay, thus the compound formed by potassium and chlorine is named as potassium chloride KCl. Okay, let us see one more compound. The compound formed by the combination of magnesium and nitrogen is Mg3NO2. N2, sorry, it is N2, magnesium Mg3N2. Now, in this, metallic part is magnesium. So, magnesium is written as it is, magnesium. And next, non-metallic part is nitrogen. So, after writing magnesium, nitrogen is written. But from this nitrogen name, some letters are removed and id is attached at the end of the name. So these are removed and id is attached. Now it became magnesium nitride. Did you get it? Calcium oxide. So the compound formed by calcium and oxygen can be named as first metal name calcium and then non-metal name oxygen, and at the end of the name oxygen, ID is attached by eliminating some letters. Now it became calcium oxide. Okay, sodium chloride, potassium nitride. In this way, these binary compounds with one metal atom can be named. What is done here? First metal name is written, next followed by non-metal name, and at the end of the non-metal name, ID is attached by eliminating few letters from the non-metal name. Got it? Next, let us see second rule. The compound containing two nonmetals are named by using Greek prefix like mono, di, tri, tetra, and penta, which denotes the number of atoms present in the compound. So in the earlier case we have seen the compounds are binary compounds containing one metal and one non-metal. In this case we are going to see about the compounds or binary compounds containing both non-metals, means both are non-metals. Then the prefixes like mono, di, tri, tetra, penta are used for representing the number of atoms of each non-metal present in the compound. Let us understand this by taking some examples. The first example, here the compound formed by nitrogen and oxygen. Okay, that can be named nitrogen and oxide. For the second non-metal, ID is attached by eliminating few letters. Now it becomes nitrogen oxide. And for the second non-metal, if there existing number of atoms also will be mentioned by giving the prefixes like mono. See, in this compound there is one nitrogen atom and one oxygen atom. So for the first non-metal, need not to mention if it is only one. For the second one, we mention with mono, di or tri. Here, one oxygen atom is there, so we may mention with mono. Now its name becomes nitrogen monoxide. In this way, it is written. Okay, let us see one more compound. NO2. So this is a compound formed between two non-metals, nitrogen and oxygen. So first non-metal name, nitrogen is written. Second non-metal, oxygen. So it is written, and at the end of this second non-metal name, ID is attached by eliminating few letters. So it became nitrogen oxide. And at the same time, how many atoms are present, that also should be mentioned by using Greek prefixes. Here there are two oxygen atoms, so that can be mentioned with di. So it became nitrogen dioxide. So for the first non-metal, need not to mention anything before the name if it is existing only one atom. If there are more than one atoms, then we have to mention compulsory that also. Suppose there are two nitrogens, then it is a dinitrogen dioxide. As it is there only one nitrogen, it is not mentioned anything here. Okay, let us see one more example. The compound formed between sulfur and oxygen. See, there is only one sulfur atom, so it is mentioned simply as sulfur. As it is the first non-metal in the compound, need not to mention mono. We should not say monosulfur because it is the first element with a single atom. So we can directly say sulfur. Second non-metal in the compound is oxygen. So its name is mentioned here, oxygen, and it is attached with IDE by eliminating some letters. Now it became sulfur oxide. But we have to mention the number of atoms of oxygen in the compound. There are three oxygen atoms. So it is mentioned with suffix tri. Now we can say its name as sulfur trioxide. Okay. One more compound we can see. The compound formed between P, phosphorus and chlorine. So it can be named with first non-metal phosphorus name, second non-metal followed by here chlorine. Okay, and for the second non-metal's name id is attached by eliminating some letters. Now it became phosphorus chloride. And the number of chlorine atoms present in the molecule also mentioned by using Greek prefix penta before the second nonmetal chlorine name. Now it became phosphorus pentachloride. Let us see one more example. See here, it is called the compound formed between phosphorus and oxygen. So the first nonmetal is phosphorus. So its name is written phosphorus. Okay, first nonmetal's name is written. Next nonmetal's name is oxygen. So its name is written here. Oxygen is written. But at the end of the second nonmetal's name, ID is to be attached. Now where am I am attaching by eliminating few letters from the name oxygen. So oxide. Now it is phosphorus oxide. But at the same time, we have to mention the number of atoms of each element present in the molecule by using Greek prefixes. So here in this molecule, two phosphorus atoms are there. So that can be mentioned by attaching di. Okay. And there are 5 oxygen atoms. Now we have to attach the prefix penta. Diphosphorus pentoxide it is. Okay. Next. Next, the rule 3. Compounds containing 3 elements, one of which is oxygen, are named with suffix "ate" at the end of the name. Okay, if there are 3 elements in the compound's name, compound molecule, then if it is containing one of the elements as oxygen, it can be named with "ate" at the end of the name. Okay, provided there is only one such kind of element compound. Okay, if a compound containing 3 elements, and out of 3, if it is there is one oxygen atom, one oxygen element, then the name of the compound will be ended with 8, 8, if it is having only one such compound. If there are 2 compounds of the same combination, means the same 3 elements, if they form more than one compounds, then the one with more number of oxygen atoms is named with suffix 8 ending and the one with less number of oxygen atoms is named with ITE8 at the end of its name. Okay, if there is only one compound existing between 3 elements, and out of those 3, if one is oxygen, then the name of the compound is given with at the end of the name 88. If more than one compounds are possible with the same combination, then the compound with more number of oxygen atoms is suffixed with ATE8, and the compound with the less number of oxygen atoms is named with IT8 at the end of its name. Let us try to understand this by taking simple example. For example, the compound formed between sodium, nitrogen and oxygen. Actually, these 3 elements in combination, they may form 2 types of compounds, that is 2 types of combinations, NaNO3, NaNO2. If you observe these 2 compounds, these are compound between with the same elements, isn't it? Nitrogen, sodium and oxygen. But if you observe, one of these 2 compounds has more number of oxygen atoms and the second one has less number of oxygen atoms. Now, the compound with more number of oxygen atoms will be named with ATE8 at the end of the name instead of mentioning oxygens. Okay, and the compound with less number of oxygen atoms is named with ITE8 at the end. See here, in this sodium, nitrogen, oxygen are there, and in this compound number of oxygens are more when compared. Now it is named like this. First, metallic element's name is written, next non-metallic element's name, and then ATE8 is attached at the end of the second nonmetal's name by eliminating some letters. They need not to mention about oxygens. Okay, now it became sodium nitrate. Actually, second element's name is nitrogen. By eliminating one or two letters from the name nitrogen, ATE8 is attached. Now it became nitrate. Total name becomes sodium nitrate. Got it? Now if you observe this second compound's formula, in this number of oxygens are being less than the first one. Same elements but. Okay. Now first metal's name is written sodium. Non-metal, second non-metal nitrogen is written. And at the end of this non-metallic element's name, it is attached by eliminating one or two letters from the non-metal's name. Now it became nitrite. Now we can say its name as sodium nitrite. We got this rule? So if there existing a compound with more than two elements, if it is containing three elements at least, and out of these three, if there exists oxygen also, then the metal and non-metals names are mentioned in the name without oxygen's name. So oxygen is mentioned with ATE8 at the end of the name. If there are two compounds the same combinations, then the compound's name with more number of oxygen atoms will be ended with ATE8, and the compound name with less number of oxygen atoms will be ended with IT8. Okay, let us see one more example on the same. See, magnesium, sulfur and oxygen. This combination can form two compounds, MgSO4, MgSO3. In these two, the first compound has more number of oxygen atoms. Now first in this naming, we write metal's name, magnesium. Next, the other non-metal other than oxygen. Non-metal other than oxygen, this is sulfur. It is named sulfur. And at the end of this sulfur name, AT8 is attached by eliminating some letters. Now it became sulfate. Thus, the compound name will be magnesium sulfate. Okay. Next, one more compound, MgSO3, which is having less number of oxygen atoms than the first one. In this naming of the compound, first metallic element's name is written. Next, the non-metal other than oxygen, its name is written, that is sulfur here. So magnesium and sulfur are written. At the end of the non-metallic element's name, it is attached by eliminating some letters. Now it became sulfite. Thus, the molecular compound name will be magnesium sulfite. Okay, in this way, they are named the elements which are having three elements out of three, one is oxygen. Okay, the other two are one metal and one non-metal. Got it? Next, let us see one more rule. That is, if in a compound the number of oxygen is less than in a compound ending with ite, then it is given the prefix hypo in the beginning of the beginning. Okay, beginning of the compound's name. So just now we have seen how to write the compound's name to 8 and ite. If in a compound the number of oxygens is less than in compound ending with ite, then the name of the compound will be prefixed with hypo. In the same way, if the oxygen atoms present in a compound is more than oxygen atoms present in a compound ending with 8, then it is given a prefix per in the beginning. Okay, generally, if there are two compounds, the one with the oxygen atoms greater number is ended with 8, and the compound with the less number of oxygen atoms is ended with 8. If a compound existing with less number of oxygen atoms than the compound with 8, then it is given prefix hypo. And if there existing a compound with the more number of oxygen atoms than that of in 8, then it is given prefix per. Let us try to understand this with an example. See, chlorine and potassium in combination with oxygen, they form two compounds, KClO2 and KClO3. Now, in these two compounds, this is a compound with more number of oxygen atoms. Now, how do we name this compound? First, metal atom's name, potassium. Second, non-metallic element's name, chlorine. And at the end of the non-metal's name, chlorine, 8 is attached. Now, its name becomes potassium chlorate. And other compound, KClO2. In this also, first metallic element's name is written and then non-metal other than oxygen, that is chlorine. Chlorine's name is written and at the end of the chlorine's name, it is attached. Now it became potassium chloride. In this way, these two compounds are named. But there existing some more compounds. One compound, KCl, if we observe, it is having less number of oxygen atoms than that of potassium chloride. If a compound exists like this, then it is named by attaching a prefix hypo, okay, before the chlorine atom, non-metallic element's name. Now it can be pronounced as potassium hypochlorite. Okay, potassium hypochlorite with formula KClO. And there exists one more compound which is having more number of oxygen atoms than in the potassium chlorate. Now it can be named as by attaching per prefix to the non-metallic element's name. Now it can be named as potassium perchlorate. KClO4, KClO4 is named as potassium perchlorate. Okay, in this way the compounds are named. Now let us see naming of acids. The name of binary acids. Binary acids means, as we told earlier, binary compounds means the compounds containing only two elements in the molecule are called binary compounds. In the same way, binary acids means the acids made up of only two elements. Out of those two, one will be hydrogen. So the acids containing hydrogen and one more element are named as binary acids. These are given, the names of these binary acids are given by adding prefix hydro to the non-metallic element other than hydrogen present in the compound. Generally, these binary acids will be containing hydrogen and one more non-metal in the compound. Now, these can be named by adding hydro to the name of that non-metallic element other than hydrogen present in the compound. And at the end of that non-metal's name, ic acid is attached to that element. Okay, let us try to understand this, how it is given by taking some example. See this example, HCl, that is the binary acid formed by hydrogen and chlorine. Now, as we told in this first, hydro is written in place of hydrogen, hydro. And next, non-metallic element other than hydrogen is named chlorine. At the end of the non-metallic element's name, ic acid is attached. Now it became hydrochloric acid. If you say combinedly, this is named as hydrochloric acid. Okay. Now let us see one more acid in the same way. HF, the acid formed between two nonmetals, hydrogen and fluorine. It can be named first with hydro starting and next non-metallic element's name fluoro or fluorine. At the end of this non-metallic element's fluorine name, ic acid is added. Now it became hydrofluoric acid. If we say in combination, hydrofluoric acid. Okay, in this way, binary acids are named. Binary acids generally they contain hydrogen and some other non-metal. So then first it will be started with prefix hydro, and then non-metallic element's name. At the end of the non-metallic element's name, it is attached ic acid. Hydro, non-metallic element's name, ic acid. In that way they are named. Let us see one more. HBr. It is also one of the binary acid. How to name this? Hydro, and the second non-metal is bromine. So hydrobrom, and at the end of its name, ic acid is attached. Now it becomes hydrobromic acid. Okay. Next, some more acids. The names of acids containing radicals or polyatomic groups are given on the basis of second element, but prefix hydro is not used. Okay. If the acids are formed with the polyatomic groups or radicals, then we don't use hydro now. Just based upon the second element's name, the compound name is given, the acid's name is given by attaching ic acid at the end of the second element's name. Let us try to understand this also by examples. See the first example, H2SO4. See here, it is a polyatomic ion, which we say commonly as a radical. Now, while naming this compound's name, we don't use hydro at the starting, even though there is hydrogen. Need not to mention hydro. It becomes now second element's name, that is sulfur name is written. At the end of this second element's name, ic acid is attached. Now it becomes sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid, sulfuric acid. Okay, one more. H3PO4. Here also it is a phosphate radical. As it is formed from the radicals, it is named by taking the second non-metal in this compound, that is phosphorus. At the end of the phosphorus element's name, ic acid is attached. Now it becomes phosphoric acid. One more you can say HNO3. It is also formed from the radical NO3 minus, nitrate ion it is called. Now how to name this compound, can you say? Need not to mention hydro. First we write the second element's name, nitrogen, nitr. And at the end of the name, ic acid is attached. Now it becomes nitric acid, nitric acid. Okay, in this way, these compounds, these acids are named. Now, naming of bases. Bases containing OH group or OH radical are named as hydroxides after the name of the metal present in the compound. For example, if you say NaOH, in this hydroxide radical is there. Now it can be named with the hydroxide at the end of metal element sodium name. Now it becomes sodium hydroxide. Okay. If we say aluminium hydroxide, in this also there is a hydroxide radical. Now OH radical it is there. It can be named hydroxide at the end of aluminum metal's name. So it can be pronounced as aluminium hydroxide. Okay. Now let us see some different names which we call as tribal names or common names. These are certain names of compounds which do not follow any systematic rules. Such names are called tribal names or common names. Chemists have not considered wise to replace these names by systematic names, as they are widely understood by the common people. So they were in the common usage and they are being continued. Let us see some examples for these tribal names or common names. The common name for nitrogen hydride NH3 is ammonia. Ammonia is its common name. So it is being continued. Actually, its chemical name is based upon the rules. It is a nitrogen trihydride. But common name is being continuously used. Ammonia. In the same way, for sodium chloride, the common name is table salt or common salt. These are being used even now, isn't it? Because these names are more familiar than systematic names. One more common name for hydrogen oxide or dihydrogen oxide is water. And another one common name for potassium nitride is niter. And the common name for magnesium carbonate is magnesite. So these common names are being familiar than their systematic names, and hence they are being used continuously. See a table showing the chemical formulae and their names. Observe once these chemical compounds. Even their common names or tribal names are also mentioned. Just now we have seen one sodium chloride, NaCl is its chemical formula. Sodium chloride is its systematic name, but it is more familiar with its common names. They are common salt and table salt. And one more, if you observe here, sulfuric acid. H2SO4 chemical name is sulfuric acid, but it is familiar with its common name, king of chemicals. So in this way, some compounds they are having their common names or tribal names which are being familiar than their systematic names. Okay, this is about the naming of chemical compounds from their formulae. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our YouTube channel AIMS Today and visit our website aimstoday.in for latest updates on recorded videos.